Hey guys, this is Sarah, and today is Wednesday, March 18th, which means it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. Today's Top 5 Wednesday is Top 5 Bookish Habits. And I had to think about this a few minutes because I've never known myself to have bookish habits, but then I sat down and I thought about how I read books and what I do when I read books, and then I realized, dang, I do have habits. So some of these I've mentioned before, some of these are new that I just realized by thinking about it. So let's get started. This Top 5 Wednesday is kind of divided by halves because sometimes I read physical books and most of the time I read Kindle books. There are some habits that I do with Kindle books and some habits that I do with physical books. So I'm going to mention the Kindle books first. And spot number 5 is reading books by quarters. Now, when I'm reading in my Kindle, I will read a book divided into quarters. So, you know how you have a little line at the bottom when you have your Kindle and it says how the percentage of how much you've read over 100. So when I start a book, I will read until 25%, and then I'll read till 50%, and then till 75%, and then finish it, which works because of my next spot. In spot number 4 is reading 3 books at a time. One of the reasons that I read books by quarters is because I'm reading more than one at a time. This is, again, in my Kindle. So, this month I started with The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. So, I read 25 of that. And then I started Wings by April and Pike, and then I read 25 of that. Then I went back to The Iron King, read 50%, and then I started Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr, which I read 25 of that. Then went to Wings, read 50, then went to Iron King, read 75, and then now I'm going to go back to Wicked Lovely. So this way I go through books faster, and because I feel okay with reading more than one book at a time, it's a way to separate the story in the way that I don't get confused when I switch, if that makes sense. I consider it a habit because a lot of people can't read more than one book at a time, or some people read more than one, but I can only read up to 3 at a time, sometimes 2, but no more than 3 books. Spot number 3 is the one I've mentioned a few times, is marathon reading. This sort of applies to both my Kindle and my physical books, although with physical books I haven't done it until recently, once I got the Anna and the French Kiss companion trilogy. When I was younger, I didn't used to do this, but now I do. Basically, it just means that if I start a series, I will continue reading until I finish it with no breaks. So it's not like, okay, on January I'll read Throne of Glass, and then in April I'll read Crown of Midnight. No. I will read them as soon as I finish one, go on with the other. And this is with everything that I read, if possible. In spot number 2, this is now on to physical books, is reading paperbacks flat. And I'm going to explain what this means with Right Away by Lauren Barnholt. So, as any book lover, I hate cracked spines. They annoy me. So, when I read a paperback book, I try to take very, very good care of it so that the spine won't get cracked. So when I read, I'll read it either, if I'm sitting, I'll read it like an L, sort of like this, and then if I have to continue the page, I flip it, and so on and so forth. And if, like, I'm laying on my stomach, I'll lay it completely flat. So the book spine is balancing the book so it doesn't crack. Like, those people that bend the front of the book all the way to the back and read it like it's a journal, they give me anxiety. And in spot number 1 is when I read hardbacks, I use the book jacket as a bookmark. I'm going to explain this by using Thinner by Maggie Seawater. So, I know a lot of people take off the book jacket while they read. I don't like doing that. I think the jacket has the cover, and as someone who's obsessed with covers, I don't want to let it go at any moment. So, because also I don't have a lot of bookmarks, I'll use the flaps of the book jacket to hold my place while I'm reading. For example, let's say I am in chapter 11. I'll just take the bookmark, close it, and put it away like this. So once I get toward like the half, I'll start using the jacket flap from the back. So neither one is stretched too far. So this one for the first part and this one for the back part, so the jacket doesn't end up being like completely stretched and grossed out. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your top 5 bookish habits. Let me know your thoughts on my habits. I feel like they're pretty normal compared to some bookish habits. I don't even know people's habits or not. So let me know your thoughts on this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!